Here I am. Technical difficulty, but we got that figured out. I needed to add myself to the stage. We have some people here, but I'm gonna wait a little longer, see who else. Not too long, because we all have things to do, but just a little bit. Give it a little bit more time. Uh, yeah, this light is good. All right. So I'm still new to all of this. What happened was I started the stream on time, but then I forgot to add myself to the stage, which I'm sure was highly annoying. So I'm going to just give it a little bit more time, maybe one more minute, and then we can start. If you want to join the stream, I put the link in the StreamYard. I think I'm going to add it on the YouTube also. Oh, yeah, it's here already. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start. Um, I'm going to start, and hopefully more people can join in. Sorry, one second. What the? Actually, just going to wait. I'm gonna wait. Test. Hi, Princess Lily. How can I turn this down? All right, I'll start now. I know Princess Lily mentioned you can stay long, and we do like look like we have some people here, so let's get this party started. Yeah, it's just been busy. It's just been a busy time. I totally agree with that. So how's everyone doing in this cold weather? I don't know where anyone's from, but if you're not from New York City and you're comfortable dropping in the link where you're from, just drop where you're from. And I just hope everyone's staying warm and staying safe out there. I've been hearing a lot about people getting sick like this time of year. People have like the flu and RSV and a whole bunch of stuff going around. So just make sure you're bundled up and all that good stuff. Okay. So even though like my channel is primarily it is far too cold. It is far too cold. Um it gets warmer in the afternoon. I feel like the afternoons have been getting colder. Interestingly. But anyway, the my content is more geared towards fashion, beauty, styling. It's like a little bit of a New York City vlog. There is some travel, but pretty much it's kind of like a lifestyle vlog. And when I was thinking about it, I'm like, what's the point of having like a lifestyle blog of people looking amazing on the outside? But when do we actually get to talk about all of the things that I guess is our like contributes to our inner beauty? And that's just as important or even more important than our outward appearance. I forgot the young lady's name, but she was a black attorney, I think somewhere in Manhattan or New York City, or maybe she was biracial, I'm not sure, but that doesn't even matter. But she was an attorney living in New York, ran for Miss America, won the title, and then no one knows, but she ended up taking her own life. No one knows why she did it, etc. But she ended up taking her own life. And when we think about outward beauty and the outward exterior, she had the money, she had the fame, she had the beauty, but I guess there was something inside that was missing, um, that led her to do that. So just as important as it is to look good on the outside, we have to also feel great on the inside. Yeah, so that I don't know, that just made me think about it. And when I think about the whole topic of self-improvement, I don't want this conversation to just be about like, oh, take walks, do deep breathing, go to the spa. Like all of those things are great, but we have to kind of start with just acknowledging that we need to improve. And I think the day I needed to work on my self improvement was the day I looked in the mirror and I did not recognize the drained, tired, annoyed, uh, exhausted, beat down person that was looking back at me. My own reflection. It's like I didn't really even recognize myself. And I feel like I was just so far gone from like what I used to be. You grow up with all this like joy and bubbles and positivity and that childlike nature that we should never really lose about ourselves. But I think like the coarseness of life tends to buff that off. But we're resilient. We will get through it. But that was the point I know I needed to work on my self improvement. And then in order for me to do that, I had to think about like how did I get here? Like how did I get to this point of even acknowledging that I had to work on self improvement? And I would say that it kind of started with acknowledging that I had some toxic traits, right? Like people pleasing tendencies. Yes, the shadows, or what they call shadow work. Absolutely. Um, but I think for starters, like the people pleasing tendencies was something that I acknowledged within myself. Um, Not setting firm boundaries between myself and others, which I will translate that honestly to like a lack of self love. Even though we probably wouldn't put those two together, they actually really are more alike than we might realize. And then realizing that I guess I would say like carrying other people's burdens, which was a combination of people pleasing tendencies, not setting the right boundaries when they needed to be set, and I think that combination equaled me carrying other people's burdens. Right, I took a step back from everything that I was so consumed about, worried about, and fear about, and then I realized, like, wait a second, none of these problems belong to me. Like, they're not even my own problems to have anxiety about or to problem solve or to figure out or to whatever. It wasn't my problems, So, the song, I mean, I don't want to get a copyright strike, but there's that song Not My Problem, very well known, went viral on TikTok, like not my problem. It took me a while to feel okay with that. um I will say though that like what I did do initially was spend time alone. Or in other words, I had to find a way to, excuse me, I had to find a way to just like detox my friendships, um, which was probably the best thing I've ever done. I think in being a people pleaser, not having firm boundaries, I was out all the time with people all the time, hanging around all the time, and not realizing that I was taking so much, even though I was getting a lot done. Don't get me wrong, I am just naturally a high achiever. There was so much more I probably could have achieved, even if it was just more sleep, saving more money, uh, you know, whatever, getting more laundry done. Like there's ways you can invest in yourself that's not always have to be like this big grandiose thing. But definitely pulling back from those so-called friendships, which were really just distractions, things that took away my time and energy from focusing on what I really needed to do. That helped me a lot, and it helped me to be a little bit more discerning about my associations and relationships. Um, because at the time, I was around people who I don't think liked each other. They gossip about each other a lot. They were really jealous and petty. They watched other people's money, the pocket watchers. It was a lot of like negative behaviors. Some people drank too much. I didn't see like a lot of positivity. And it taught me that if I'm going to even be around people, I want to be around people who are generous and supportive and inspiring. And until I find that tribe, which I think, will happen, there's just no way. There's just no way. So I had to really purge or detox my friendships in order to like block out those distractions and allow the work that needs to be done to come to the surface. And that included boundaries, saying no, I don't want to be around those people, or I don't want to go to these places, or etc. And I could say as a result, one thing that I saw for sure was a change in my abundance flow. Not only was I not going out, so naturally I was saving more money. I was getting better quality sleep, which made me look better. It improved my health tremendously. And I will say that, like, other forms of abundance started to come into my life in terms of better relationships or being focused enough to say, okay, well, let me start a business. Let me get creative and get on YouTube. So a lot of that was birthed from me being able to just separate myself, detox my friendships, and just allow what was in me to come to the surface, good, bad, or otherwise. And thankfully, mostly good. So definitely, that was one thing I did on my like journey to self improvement. And then to solve my problem of like taking on, or my problem of poor boundaries and taking on other people's issues was, hi John. To solve my problem of like taking on other people's problems and like demonstrating that lack of poor boundaries within my own self, I had to find the comfort in the discomfort of seeing other people face their challenges. Sometimes when we care about people and we love people, they're our friends, family, or people we just feel like we want to help. A lot of times we kind of like go overboard and not sometimes we just go overboard, right? We take on the place and the work that's not really ours and their problem. We become consumed with other people's problems. And I found that that happens to me a lot because when I really sort out what are my concerns, what are the things that I need to be focused on and worried about, half the shiznai that I was worried about had nothing to do with me. There were other people's problems. And I was not comfortable enough watching people solve their own stuff. You know, I thought I could do the work of the universe, which I've learned definitely not, never again. I thought I could do the work of the universe and try to solve people's problems for them. Oh my gosh, you don't have enough money for your light bill? You don't have childcare? You don't, those were not my issues to solve. And I think what woke me up is that, I really pride myself on doing things the quote unquote right way in life. And while I'm busting my ass to do things the right way, people are just doing what they want to do, living their best lives, having fun, etc. And then I was like, I'm not Molly the maid. Why do I have to be the cleanup crew? Why do I have to be the cleanup person for other people's choices when they were having a ball, not thinking or caring about the choices they were making or the consequences that came with those choices? But here I am, like, so afraid to watch them go through the motions of life, right? For every action, there's a reaction. My fear of just like not wanting to see them crash and burn made me crash and burn, taking on their karmic debts or, stepping in again in the way of the universe. The way I had to be worked on and molded that no one stepped in for me for, I shouldn't be stepping in for other people. And I had to be comfortable with that because it kind of made me feel like maybe I'm a bad person for not offering this, or maybe, then I had to realize like, no, like what's in me is for me. And then when I have a overpouring and an abundance of what's in me, that means I have to share, right? If I have this cup of tea like I have here, it's a beautiful cup of tea, and it's about 3/4 full. This is for me. This is a one-person cup. But if I have enough to where I can fill 2 cups, that's what I can do. Then I'm in a place where I can share with others. But unfortunately, it took me a lot of hard lessons to learn that, and a lot of being taken advantage of to learn that, and a lot of people saying, "Oh, she's the nice one. She's not going to care. Let me go to her to solve my problems." And I realized a lot of the problems and burdens I was carrying had nothing to do with me. Isn't that some shit? Isn't that some stuff? So yeah, I just definitely wanted to reflect on that. Like, it's really sometimes about getting out of your own way and getting out of God's way or getting out of the universe's way, whatever higher power you believe in, or whatever forms of this is the cycle of life that you believe in. We just have to step out of the way sometimes. Like, and just acknowledge that we can't save people from themselves, and it's not our job to do that. And it's rest in being comfortable that when we make that decision, that is the right thing to do. Again, when we make that decision, that is the right thing to do. So I don't know if there's people out there who can relate to this. If so, definitely, right? This is like life. This is life stuff. So I hope everyone can relate. But if so, definitely use the comments. So if you want to come up, I'll put the link again. I should probably pin the link somewhere. I gotta figure out how to do that. But yeah, I could pin this. Okay, great. So the link should be pinned in the comments if anyone does want to come up and join. You don't have to share any like deep personal experiences, but I'm sure, like I said, this is just like life stuff, so people could definitely relate to it. So that was like the initial steps of self improvement that I took, which was kind of like, I guess in other words, we could say a wake up call. So definitely, definitely a part of my journey. And it's true, like we have to recognize that we can't save everyone, nor is it our job to. Now, for example, like when we get on the plane and they say, put on your mask and then you can help others. In case of emergency, I think we can be there for others and help others. But we live in a world, especially with these sassy people who don't tell me what to do. And, they're know-it-alls about their lives. And I think the only way they're going to really learn is to go through the course of their choices and actions around that. We really can't step in their way. We have to be comfortable sometimes, I guess, minding our own business. So I think sometimes people, I guess, who kind of know me or know of me because maybe we work together or they see me in some capacity, may think like, oh, she's closed off, she doesn't really talk to anybody. It's not really about not wanting to share parts of myself or having some big issue to where I'm closed off. But again, when we think about detoxing our friendships and our surroundings, a part of that is discernment, like avoiding harmful associations. And again, connecting to those who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. And if I get like any Decepticon vibes from somebody, I have learned enough to listen to my conscience and let my conscience be my guide, because my intuition has never failed me. Once I got a funny feeling or a funny inkling about someone, I don't have to go full on out about it, but that's something I can just, lock into my little file cabinet into the back of my mind and just act accordingly. We don't have to give speeches. We don't have to like make big productions about things. Sometimes we clock it and then we just move on. So that's what I've done. And with that, I think another thing that helped me to self improve was to kind of adapt some sort of stoicism. And I should have learned this long ago, when my mom would always tell me like, Brooklyn, you don't have to like be so reactive to things. Like you don't have to like respond to everything, ignore some things. And I think I have ignored some things that probably I shouldn't or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. But what I've learned is that some people will intentionally say and do things to get a reaction out of you. And what I've learned is the best reaction is no reaction. It takes away their satisfaction. Like some people want to see you get bent out of shape and angry and upset and, look like them. Some people want you to like lower yourself and look like them. And I've learned, like, when I see the gimmicks in the games coming my way, I don't even clock it. I don't even like pay attention to it, because people who do these things intentionally are suffering on a level you would never understand, and you would never begin to understand, and you probably don't even want to understand it. So you kind of have to just like, as difficult as it might be sometimes, just let these things roll off your shoulders. And if you have trouble with letting this stuff roll all off of your shoulders, then what you really have an issue with is standing in your own power of knowing who you are and not letting anyone shake you. Not allowing anyone to shake you or threaten that sense of self you know yourself to be. So I just want to say that. Um, this is a life's work. No one's perfect. It's like a flower that keeps opening up and blooming and blooming and blooming and blooming and blooming. Like, it's never ending work. It's a life's work. It's a marathon. The minute we learn something else, we kind of rest on our laurels a little bit because that's what we know, and then we start to evolve again from that place. So the work is never done. Nothing has come easy to me. Nothing has been easy for me as much as people think it might be. It has not been. But what people are seeing, I believe, I could be wrong, but what I believe people are seeing as easy is really me mastering things, right? I'm not folding. I'm not folding. I'm not caving in. I'm not a victim. I'm mastering. And I think when people see someone, myself or others, who understand the art of mastering, they think that people like me have it easy when nothing has been easy about my life. Then I said now it's a lot more peaceful and I'm kind of like good in the place I'm in and looking forward to everything getting better. But um, nothing has been easy, and it's not like mastering anything is not easy. Think about a school subject like science, right? Knowing the basic skills of science makes you proficient. You just know the basics. Now, in order to be a science master, it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice. You're putting in more effort than you need just to demonstrate that you have basic skills. So to master things is not easy. It's a difficult feat. Okay, thank you for your support. And enjoy your evening. And yes, all the live streams are recorded and automatically posted onto YouTube once I'm done. So definitely check it out. Yeah. And this is for anyone. Check it out. While we're on the topic of checking things out, please, I can't tell. I feel weird sometimes telling people, oh, like. I can tell people to subscribe now, but like, I feel iffy about because what if you don't like it? You shouldn't be forced to like it. But check out my content. Um, Again, I'm more of like a fashion style person, but check it out. Subscribe. I definitely would like to get more of my content out there. Bye. Have a good night. We'll talk soon. And then I definitely also want to so definitely check out the stream, check out other videos I have. I think I have like between actual videos and shorts about 60 pieces of content. I have been on YouTube for a long time, but I haven't done anything with my YouTube until September 2024. So thank you. Um, so it's growing. It really is growing, and the numbers are good. And I'm kind of getting more comfortable with when I create things that probably are not the best and being comfortable with that. But patience is a virtue. Because I posted a video recently, and I was like, dang, it didn't do as good as I thought it would do. And I'm actually really grateful for my numbers because as small as they might be now, it could be worse. Because I hear about a lot of new YouTubers who are like, only 5 people watch my video. How can I get more? And I would say on average when I post a video, I get anywhere from 50 to 200 views, and I do appreciate that. And you all and anyone out there who watches, I do appreciate that. So thank you all for that. But I did want to just say, like, this is a new journey for me. I'm still trying to get my videos out there. The way YouTube works is the more you do, the more they push you out into the algorithm because people are looking for your work, and people are looking for your work because the work is there. So definitely subscribe, check out the content. If you see anything that you like it. Excuse me. And I'll be back to do more. Actually, my next video I think might be one of the more interesting ones that I've ever done. because it's going to be talk about hygiene of our nails and feet and the dark side of these nail salons or nail spas, as they like to call themselves. So that one might actually be a good one to check out. Just even if you're not into fashion or beauty, just for your own like knowledge. I don't know why it looks so shiny right here, but then when I bend down, it looks normal. Whatever. I have to remind myself sometimes that we just can't have it all. Psych. Okay, that's a lot better. Ew. Ew. That's a lot better. So, on the theme, continuing on the theme before I get too far gone and get lost and forget, because I'm a literal space case sometimes. I did want to say, like, I think the top key things to think about, and sometimes, we try to look outside of ourselves for answers, but there are none because the things that we really need come from within. And we'll talk about therapy in a second, but I did want to just stress that a lot of what we need comes from inside of us. Um, so I think some things to think about is how can a person tell, or how can you, let's make this personal, how can you tell which area of your life needs the most improvement, right? How can someone, you, me, be able to identify what area of your life needs the most improvement? Um, I think, I mean, I could be wrong and other people can chime in the comments. I believe it starts with like, what part of your life concerns you the most? What part of your life concerns you the most? So you always late on bills, or you always coming up short? Is your account overdrafting? Then maybe the area of your life that needs the most improvement are your finances. But people have to learn that like finances and spending, those are behaviors, those are habits. Like what is that saying about you, right? And then you can use. I promise myself I will stop saying right because I hate when I hear it from other people. It just doesn't sound like good. And I'm not judging. If that's what you say, because a lot of people are saying it now, no judgment, but I want to challenge myself to not do that. So starting over. Um, if you notice that your finances might be an area of improvement in your life, it's not just about, okay, I need to save more. I need to probably set up auto pay. And like all of those steps are great and they work and they're very practical, but really analyzing the behavior attached to that. Spending is a behavior, it's a habit. What is causing that? What is triggering that? Identifying when you spend the most and why. Um, and it could be very eye-opening. For some people, they have to keep up with the Joneses, right? I knew a young professional woman who had no student loan debt, um, great job, great salary, drove a cute car, but owed Saks Fifth Avenue close to $20,000 because she didn't feel comfortable wearing anything less than like Chanel and Gucci and Louis Vuitton. All great, I think luxury is amazing. Everyone, not everyone, but if you want a luxury lifestyle, that's your business. But you shouldn't. What happened with this person when I guess the being able to afford it, the affordability of it kind of escaped her and got a little bit out of control. This person literally went into hiding. They went into hiding because they did not have the funds to look like what they believe they should look like, which I thought was absolutely nuts. Like, no judgment. I know calling it nuts sounds like a judgment, maybe because it is one, but I don't, like, back to the point. It's just about assessing the behavior. So although the spending was happening and the finances were out of control, what was the behavior? What was the message about self feeling validated within herself, with or without the luxury labels, with or without, so those are the things that we got to look for. So when we ask ourselves, how do we know which area of our lives needs the most improvement? It's the area that we are most concerned about. It could be legal issues. It could be discipline between yourself, your children, with food. We have to think about our relationships with every aspect of our life, our spirituality, our finances, all that. And then when we are able to acknowledge those things, we're able to see and know, like, what are the patterns behind that? How is this manifesting? And then be able to think about ways in which we can be more practical in solving what those issues are. All right, what else did I have here that one should think about? So, staying motivated or bouncing back after experiencing a setback on your journey of self improvement. Now, setbacks are going to happen. We're far from perfect. Like I mentioned, it's always a journey, it's always a marathon. You know, the flower is opening up and blooming, and this is going to continue to open and open and open and open and open. That's just the way it is. And I think it's really easy for us to go back to our default mode, our default way of doing things. But it's really, really challenging ourselves in those moments to know that that shit didn't work for us. Like, why are we going back to something that just did not work? You know, they say crazy is doing the same things over and over again in the same way, but expecting different results, right? And we're not crazy people. People that I know that's a part of this community, we're not crazy. We're just looking for answers, and wanting to share our light with the world. But yeah, absolutely. Like, it's okay to have a setback. We acknowledge it. And then, we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and try it again. Try it again. And I think sometimes we have to do things in a bite-sized type of way. Like, instead of thinking about, I need to do this for the next 90 days or for the next year, how about today I spent 10 less dollars? Or today, even though I came home and things were disorganized, for example, um, I didn't crash out about it. I just took a deep breath, got comfortable, and took care and organized what I needed to organize. Day by day, you go into every day, into a job you hate, into a home you hate, whatever your situation is, day by day, while also concurrently planning how to get yourself out of whatever's wrong, or how to correct, let's just say this, how to correct the situation, right? How to correct the situation. So, what role does self-reflection play in personal growth, right? What role does self-reflection play in personal growth? We have to be able to look at ourselves. And I think that's the hard part, right? And I think that's the hard part, which I think we can all agree on, because it's personal. Like, don't be telling me I'm not doing something right, but we have to tell ourselves that, and we have to be honest about that. And I think one thing I see that happen in a professional setting will be in the role of an educator, where instructors have to look at their practice, right? Instructors have to look at their practices. If there was a ELA exam and it's a multiple choice, and every single student across all three of your classes, or the majority of students across all three of the classes you teach, your ELA classes you teach, got number 7 wrong, maybe it's not the students. Maybe you have to acknowledge, maybe how did you teach the concepts around number 7? Maybe it's a reteach, right? This is where they curve grades. I don't know if they do that anymore. They still should. But this is where curving the grades come in, because it's not a matter of not mastering the concepts or not studying enough, etc. It's really a reteach. Something in your work was not right, but that takes a process of self-reflection. And I only use that example because oftentimes you see in schools a big resistance around change. Like, schools are agents of change, period. Like, a school's job and a school leader's job is to just strategically implement a system of continual change, a process of continual change, right? Ooh, I hate that word. A process of continual change. And you use the data and the data from students and data and feedback from the instructors to kind of say what those changes need to be in order to create more success. So it's deep. It's deep when you have to reflect on yourself, and if instructors cannot reflect on how they're doing something in the classroom, imagine how difficult it is for people to reflect on how they're doing things in their own lives. It's just not easy. But life is not for the weak either, and I'm not trying to call no one weak, but Look at the example I gave of this woman. I forgot her name. I have to look her up. Maybe I can look her up real quick. Bear with me. Um, Chesley Corinne Christ. Or Christ. Yes, Chesley Corinne Christ. Crazy. She was a television correspondent, a model, beauty pageant title holder. I believe she was also an attorney. And I'm not trying to say that mental illness did not play a role in it. It says here that she did struggle with depression for years. Yes, she was an attorney. She did struggle with depression for years, and who knows what other things may have been involved in terms of like substances or whatever. Um, but again, this is someone on the outside who had the beauty, had the fame, had the money, had the privileges of life, and couldn't make it through life, had it all, and couldn't make it through life because something inside, internally, did not feel right. So, again, I know my content is around beauty and fashion and style and lifestyle and travel and New York City vlogs and, just me living my life really and truly and taking you all on the journey. Um, and the journey, you'll see the journey kind of shift because there's something else yet to be revealed that is a part of this work. However, it's just a lot, and it's just really honestly sad to see a young woman with so much accomplished already not make it. We have to be. Life is hard. Life is hard, and we have to be tough or resilient in our own ways. And the only way we can do that is through the non-stop work of self-improvement. We cannot be victims. This life is meant for victors. And for anyone watching this, I do want to share that if you are, I just mentioned, working on any creative projects and you're looking for support, put in the comments, what is your project? If you're looking for more followers, subscribers, whatever it is, put it in the comments, and then I can see what I can do to support you myself with the follow, subscribe, uh, connecting you to other networks that might be able to help, places where, people will purchase, whatever it is you're doing. I think we have to live in a world where we kind of help each other to shine and advertise one another. So with that, I do want people to think about, and we're about to wrap up soon. So I do want people to think about what is one practical, what is one practical step you can take? Just one. What is one practical step you can take, right? If you, dang on right, dang on, I'm going to get this right. I'm going to get the rights right. Anyway, what is that practical step you can take? If it's decluttering your closet, what can you do every day? Every day when I come in, I can sort out 10 items. What I'm keeping, what I want to give away, what needs to be thrown out. Because we just have things that are not worth, it's just an insult to donate it because of the conditions it might be in. So every day I'm just going to choose 5 to 10 items and bag them up and say, things I'm keeping, things I'm donating, things that have to just go into the trash. And that's going to be my task every day until I declutter this closet. So what is the one thing that you could commit to, that one step you can consistently take to begin to create the change you want to see? Right? Even if it's facing your financial affairs, let me look at it. Right? Let me look at it. Let me just try to get some support around that. And then knowing within yourself, like, when is it beneficial to get professional help? That could look like anything. Do I need a TaskRabbit? Do I need, I don't know. Do we need to hire another employee here? Do I need an intern? Do you need a coach, a life coach, any type of coach, a therapist, accountability buddy? Like, when do you know? When do you assess within yourself and know that you need that extra support? I think when it comes to therapy, if things are getting in the way of your ability to function, like, for example, You feel sad, you feel withdrawn, maybe your appetite changes, your sleep schedule is changing, you don't find joy in things anymore. We can classify that, for example, as depression. And when depression gets to a place where it starts to consume you, and it's real sneaky, that depression. But when it gets to a place where like you're not getting out of bed, you're not combing your hair, your hygiene is slipping, those will be the most ideal times to seek help. I think the problem is though, once people start to, I guess, downward spiral, and I should have put my chart up. Uh, Maybe I can find it. 1 second. It's the image. Let me see if I can. Okay. Let's see if this is a good image. No, I don't like that one. Sorry. I think I can share my tab and we can look at it. Why is this not opening up? I'm sorry, just one more second. Oh, come on. We'll look at the upward spiral first. Oh, let's look at the downward spiral actually. Right, I'm going to see if I can share my screen to this tab. Share screen. Share screen. Share. Okay. I hope everyone can see this. But this is the downward spiral. So as you feel yourself downward spiraling, this will be the opportune time to get help. Again, once you feel yourself downward spiraling, this is the opportune time to get some sort of guidance or professional help or accountability person or coach to help support you through this moment. Uh, and things get better as we see with the upward spiral. This is the place we want to always be in. And I remind myself, my own personal self, about this, being someone who's a bit of a worrier, which is mid range in the downward spiral. I can worry and I can be kind of doubtful. Like I live in those two worlds on a negative spectrum of this here illustration. But definitely we want to watch out for these red flags. Watch out for these red flags. You know, it gets redder and redder and redder. And then when we get powerlessness and we feel hopeless and helpless, that leads to more concerning things. So thinking about the downward spiral when we're thinking about how do we know we need help, right? And help can look like the guidance of a friend, a spiritual leader, minister, priest, pastor, rabbi, imam, uh, accountability buddy, a loved one, a significant other, a life coach, a sports coach, but just getting that help from someone else. So I'm going to stop sharing. So that's how we kind of know when we need support again on that downward spiral, like we just looked at. And if you just got here, if you scanned back a little bit ago, you'll find that as well. And I think that's pretty much it for me and my long talking. But what I do want to do is impart some messages to the people. And I have 4 messages here. One I talked about, which was detoxing our friendships. But I'm going to just read them all again. So I asked for some universal guidance on what messages to impart on the people. And I received 4 messages. And the first one says to detox your friendships. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you are spending time. So be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. The next message says to release jealousy. Jealousy is an affirmation that you do not have something, and the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let other people's successes inspire you rather than frustrate you. If they can have it, so can you. And all of these themes kind of go together. Cooperation instead of competition. What is yours, and no one can take it from you. There is no need to compete, as there is an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. And last but not least, let go of guilt. When you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done, and trust that God loves you unconditionally for who you are. Learn and grow from past mistakes instead of berating yourselves for them. Hi, Kay. Oh my gosh. How are you? I can't wait to get this hair done. So I know you just got here, so I'll give you a quick run through of what I've been talking about. And people have been entering and leaving, but thank God for StreamYard. They actually, once the live stream is done, it'll just be on. Am I hair held up, boo? But once the live stream is done, they pretty much record it and it'll just be on YouTube. So you can go back and check it out. But I was just talking about like how did I recognize within myself that like I needed to shake some stuff up. And it was really just looking in the mirror and not recognizing the person looking back at me. And really, really being honest with myself about how did I get here? You know, and I got there. I can't wait to see you too. I honestly got here through like having poor boundaries, being a people pleaser, and all of that equaled up to me like taking on other people's problems. Because when I really assessed what my concerns were, I had everyday regular life problems. Oh snap, let me mail this bill out. Oh shit, how am I gonna do this? Or I'm late for the train or the bus. Damn, I was trying to be on time today. You know, those were my problems. But the big old things were not my problems. And I had to find comfort in, again, the combination of being a people pleaser, my toxic traits of being a people pleaser and having poor boundaries. I had to find comfort in saying, okay, you know what? As much as I don't like seeing the people around me have a hard time and difficulty, I can't do the universe's work. I can't step in the way of the universe and fix things for people. It's just not realistic. You know, it made me, I feel like I was drained. I felt like I was ugly. I felt like I was tired all the time. You know, and I just saw as I started to detox my friendships and really look at the way I was doing things, brought me on a new wave of improvement. And that's kind of like what the whole chat was about. I didn't want to talk about like, oh, do yoga and mindful breathing and all of that's great. You know, I'm not going to sit here as a licensed mental health professional and tell y'all not to do that stuff. But sometimes we have to be real about where things are coming from. You know, and towards the end, we talked about how do we know a problem is a problem in our lives? And my answer to that, which may not be the answer, just my thoughts, is when things get concerning for you. You know, if you're concerned that shit, I'm working all the time and I have no money saved, or I can't pay a bill and or my rent's late all the time, you got to really look at your, you know, face your financial fears. Look at your spending habits, because at the end of the day, these are all behaviors. Where is it coming from? You know, so that was it. I am gonna wrap things up though, because I've been on here close to an hour. But I do appreciate everyone that stopped by. Blessings, love, and light to you all. And have a good night. I'll probably just hang out here for like maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, but I do appreciate everyone that stopped by. Y'all mean so much. And we're gonna grow this community because there's so much more work to be done. We're gonna grow together. But again, just that one thing. The one thing you can do, practical step you can take every day to work towards your self improvement. You're not gonna call that man today, and you're gonna tell yourself that every day. Depending. If it's toxic, let it go. Now it ain't nothing to cut something off for me, but I had to get to this point. Yeah, for sure. And I think I'm gonna start going live at different times to see what works best for people. I think the nighttime is better. I usually do Thursdays, but I have a meeting tomorrow night, so I had to do today. I had to be here today, which I have no problem with. But yeah, we're gonna grow this thing because it's time for like not only us but the people around us to raise our vibrations. We could all find a better way of doing things to really just live the life we want to live. That's it. That's really what it's about. All right, y'all. Much love and light. I'm going to sign off. Again, I appreciate all of you for being here. And with that, have a good night. You know. Yeah, I think once I end the stream, the playback happens. I don't know. It's just a smart system. It just happens, and I'm gonna work on learning more about this. 'Cause there's so much I can do. Ooh, I like the black. I wish I knew about that. Ooh, I like the black. You. I need to get some credits rolling. We'll do an intro, some credits. uh, all right, I hit the 1 hour mark and I'm out. I will see everyone next week. Bye.